Hey guys, Ranger here, and welcome back to another video and a very special reaction and review. I've had a couple people request for me to do this video. I apologize it's taking this long to get to it, but better late than never. The video is HAZBIN's brand new animations. Has Been Hotel inside of Every Demon is a Rainbow original song. And like I said, I've had a couple people request for me to check this out, and I'm very excited because I love HAZBIN's work. So let's begin, and then I'll give my afterthoughts. Starting the video in 3, 2, 1, click.
So, I've been thinking, isn't there a more humane way to hinder overpopulation here in Hell? Perhaps we can create an alternative way to change souls through redemption? Well, I think yes. So that's what this project aims to achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm opening the first of its kind, a hotel that rehabilitates sinners.
Radio hack.
You know, because hotels are for people passing through temporarily.
Is this girl for real? She thinks, you hear what she thinks? Oh, she's nuts.
I figure it would serve a purpose. A place to work towards redemption. Yay.
Stupid bitch.
Look, every single one of you has something good deep down inside. I know you do. Maybe I'm not getting through to you.
Oh no.
I have a dream, I'm here to tell about a wonderful, fantastic new hotel. Yes, it's one of a kind, right here in Hell, catering to a specific clientele. Inside of every demon is a rainbow. Inside every sinner is a shiny smile. Inside of every creepy hatchet-wielding maniac is the jolly, happy, cupcake-loving child. We can turn around, they'll be heaven-bound with just a little time down at the Happy Hotel. So all you junkies, freaks, and weirdos, creepers, comics, crooks, and zeros, and unborn superheroes, hope is here. All of you crazy sluts and losers, sexual deviants, abusers, and prescription drug abusers, need not fear. We'll pierce it, we'll make you well. You'll feel so swell, right here in Hell at the Happy Hotel. There'll be no more fire and no more screams. Just puppy dog kisses and cotton candy dreams and puffy wuffy clothes. You're gonna be like, wow, once you check in with me.
Dang.
So while you
That's
your
good.
predictions, take your own psychic predictions, ain't you all inclusive bitches, and right here, all you monsters, and crazies, cannibals, and crybabies, happy mothers, stolen babies, that'll live too. You'll be complete, it'll be so neat, or stay sticky beat, you'll be an easy street, yes, life will be sweet at the Happy Hotel.
Wow. That was shit.
Okay, this was epic. This was epic. This was absolutely epic. More left in the store. Okay, there's so much to go over with this, and I want to try to cover every single thing that I can. Okay. Story-wise, you got this girl. Story-wise, this girl wants to. There's overpopulation in heck. So she wants to create a hotel, which is basically a rehabilitation center, to help other creatures to find the good within them so that they can actually get to heaven. So yeah, I think it's a good idea, and I also think it's cute, and a very interesting concept. But nobody was on board with it, so she saw that nobody was on board with the idea. Everybody was just completely against it. or thought it was crazy, like, hey, I'm totally fine where I am. So she decided to break out into a song, and the song itself has many different, uh, there's different sort of styles to this song. It's a very beautiful and very sweet and energetic song. It's definitely bubbly, and it's upbeat, which it's interesting because obviously it contradicts the setting for where the characters are, which is an interesting thing. But here's this character here who obviously she has some good in her. She has some hopes for others and wanting to help them. She has belief in them. She's energetic. She's bubbly, and she looks fairly normal, somewhat on the outside in terms of her appearance, but we see other glimpses where we see there's other parts to her. Scenes where the fangs are introduced, and then we see other scenes, and then we get to see one of her true form, which is very, very interesting. And this is basically her laid back. It's kind of funny because this right here is kind of me, generally. But then whenever I'm dealing with people at work, this is how I kind of am. But again, it's interesting story-wise that she wants to help others rehabilitate. She wants to start this hotel so that others can actually have a chance to rehabilitate, to redeem themselves, to get redemption, and I think that's cool. And I also have to really also credit the performer here because she did a fantastic job. I mean, the vocals and the voice acting are just fantastic for this. It's absolutely fantastic. The additional voice acting in this is just phenomenal as well. But the voice actress and the singer here did a phenomenal job. Absolutely phenomenal job with this. And this is definitely this animation is definitely a bit more blunt than what we've seen with VisiPop's earlier works. They seemed a bit more lighthearted. Here we got the characters actually cussing, and we actually got a cartoon where it's actually set in heck. And so I'm not against that whatsoever. I think it's an interesting thing, and I think it's interesting that she's doing this. And I love the concept of this. I think it's great. I love what they're doing with this, and it looks fantastic. And I'm really excited to see where this goes as well. And like I said, I absolutely love VisiPop's animations. There's a lot of other stuff here as well. With everybody involved with this, voice acting and animators, and just people there's a lot of stuff that went into this. A lot of people that worked on the animation for this, and just so much wonderful stuff in this. The animation in this is absolutely extraordinary. The animation style, there are so many different characters with different animated styles. In this, it's such a huge collaboration of different character designs, different styles, and it all blends together exceptionally well. There's so many things going on. There's so much going on in the background in every single scene, every single little scene of this, that you have to go back, and this is one of those animations that you have to watch over and over again because there's so much going on. There's so many little gags and references that you have to try to pay attention to, and it's incredible to see so many people, to see so many animation styles come together in this to make something this brilliant, and it absolutely looks phenomenal. There's so much stuff to witness in this animation, so much going on. Every single scene is incredibly detailed, and there's so much energy. Every single scene has an abundance of energy in it. There's not anything that is lazily done. Every single scene, every single frame is just bouncy and full of energy, and it really helps to emphasize the character's attitude, her personality. With the way that the animation flows, it really blends with the character's enthusiasm and the character's bubbly persona. And then the animation for the other characters as well. You can see the bubbly animation, and some characters are more stationary, but it also works with the scene because it adds to the humor because of that. And this is a very high energy. The song itself is fun, it's energetic, and it's addictive. And the voice acting for both the character and the vocals for the song is just perfect. They fit the character, and it's very smooth, very easy to listen to. And there's so much, like I said, there's so much going on that you have to I'm having to slow this down little by little to be able to catch everything. For example, a guy here looking at a porn magazine with my waifu on it, and then we see this guy who had his phone, and it's pretty much basically someone who's been on their phone a lot, and there's many other segments in the animation where you can see that things, this transition where you see like a giant eye open up behind the character. And this particular scene here where the character turns around is also one really phenomenal scene, because the detail in this scene for the fire and the flowing of the character's hair and the body movements in this as well. And you also see the musical note details in this. There's so much energy, so much attention to detail in this scene alone. Every single scene is full of magnificent detail, and it just shines. And then you could say, like this scene here, the character's hair is really just floofy, and it looks beautiful. And there's many different segments where you can pause it, and you can see the swaying motion of the character, like this scene here. And there's so many frames, so much detail, and the characters are not jumpy, they're not choppy, they're not appearing from one place to another. Every single frame is meticulously animated to really help to add to the overall scene, and it adds to the flow of the character's movements. The character isn't suddenly spazzing, moving from one place to another. There's so much flow and movement in the character. It's fast-paced, but it works. It shows how the character is moving, and this really utilizes the basic cartoon style of the squash and stretch animation. The old squash and stretch style for animation is it's an old-fashioned style, but it works, and you can see scenes of the character. There's so many frames that it'll give the illusion of that and show just the characters. There's so many frames that show the attention to detail for the character, and even tiny little details are clearly visible, like whenever the character is standing on the piano here, and you can see her chest moving up and down as she just finished this performance. And the visible detail of the other character here, her sneer and her expression of both confusion and wondering what this girl is on, and her expression of anger. And then you see the expression of mixed conflict between many different people here in the audience, from boredom to this girl's freaking nuts, to no way in heck, which is where everybody is right now, is this going to work, to just what? And someone actually expresses their opinion and says that it is complete crap at the end. But again, there's so much going on in this animation. There's so many different styles, and it's just beautiful. There's tiny other little details, and so as a Christian, I'm going to try to pick up some of this different stuff that we see in here. And every single one of these, also notice the price tag on the TV. It's the same Also notice the price tag on the TV, it's the same. I'm going to go over, try to pick up some of the stuff here. You have gambling, possibly, you have possibly alcoholism. We have murderers. We have drug addiction. We have pervertedness, and the lyric says right here, losers, I believe. You could say this right here is like one of those people who think that they're better than everyone else because they have more money. Theoretically, it could also be prostitution. Let's see, porn addiction, vegan. That's funny. It's a theory, but like these could be people that try to possibly took the Lord's name in vain. And an interesting thing is like analyzing this video little by little, we see her on what appear on a pentagram, which has a heart in the middle of it, and she rises from the ground and outside through a crevice, through a crack, and we see like a land of candy and rainbows and things beyond. And this, I'm sure this isn't the world outside. This is just a metaphor for getting out of heck and maybe into paradise. That's just a theory. But again, I love the concept of this bubbly character who wants to help the overpopulation of heck by getting redemption for some of them, and so creating a hotel which is like a rehabilitation center to help. And like I said, it's an interesting concept, and I'm not sure if she's going to make this a full, kind of like a little full series, or if this is just a song, a one-off song. There are other videos that shows clips, so I'm hoping that maybe that's just clips from maybe something that's upcoming, hopefully. But again, absolutely love VisiPop's animations, and again, it's such an interesting thing to see so many different animation styles combined and collaborating together to make such a wonderful and energetic animation. And like I said prior, there's so much energy with this, and VisiPop's animations have so much flow. They have such free moving. They move so freely, so smoothly. I've seen animations before. I've seen fan-made animations before that are like handmade, and I've seen animations before by other people that were just really choppy and rigid and jumpy, and some of it, I mean, I've seen some great animations. VisiPop's is some of them, but then I've also seen other animations as well that I had to look at and think, what on earth am I looking at? And VisiPop, her style just fits. She takes full advantage of her style and uses it to its fullest potential. And it's clear in this animation, just in this animation alone. Like I said, the movement of the character is bubbly, and there's a lot of movement to the character. There's a lot of simple movements, from hand gestures to eye movements to body language, that progress as the thing, I mean, that show off the character, and they help to not just show what the animation, they don't just show off the style of the animation, they don't just show off the flow of the animation, but they also help to emphasize the character's personality and how she is. And you know, it's easier and simpler to make a character just stand and move just with their mouth move. It's simple enough to do that, but every single scene is meticulously done and is painstakingly done, and every single scene you can see how everything flows. Like I said, the characters' facial expressions, hand gestures, even the fingers, body language. There's so much attention to detail with everything the character does, and the facial expressions also help to add that. And head tilts, everything just add to that. And the character's facial expressions also have a variety of different variations as well, which all help with and they help with a cartoonish style. And there's a couple of different things that you could look at with that. Number one, different styles of the character's facial expressions, um, like one could say overly animated, and that's not a bad thing. I don't mean that as an insult whatsoever. I mean that the character's expression doesn't maintain a sort of a typical look the entire time. There are moments whenever the character's facial expressions change somewhat drastically, and from a small smile to a huge smile, to scenes where the character is smiling extremely big, to scenes where we can see her fangs, and then we can also see the eyes change, and we can see little tiny movements as well, like puffs of the character's cheeks, and just little tiny changes like that to kind of squeamish expressions, and small, like, embarrassed movements with the character's body language, and even tiny things like up on the screen, the character using her hand to draw on the table. And again, we see the character's eyes moving from smaller to larger as the scene progresses, and we see them kind of widen larger. And there's the character here, the characters in this, a lot of these characters are very are very animated. From what I mean, sometimes it's simple expressions to sometimes it's a bit more, it's a bit larger, and we can see just how everything progresses with the characters. And like I said, there's many different styles of animation which help to add to the humor of the situation with what is going on, with how the characters look. Um, and there's, because there are so many different styles of animation, some of them are some of them add to humor in the background because of their expressions, and some of them you look at and think, okay, that's a cool design. There isn't actually one character that I have looked at in this that I haven't thought, that's an awesome design. Every single character is awesomely designed. Some are more detailed than others, of course, which that depends on the character overall. But there's a lot of different styles and just the way that they fit and how that they look. Like I said, simple little movements where, I mean, where the character is moving and it changes to where we see the character's inner self, and just that attention to detail, and again the flowing motion of everything around the character, the hair just flowing, and there's a lot of detail that went into this, and every single character is meticulously detailed, and you can clearly see it. And the backgrounds are interesting as well because of their design and their color style, and there's so many different color variations and palettes here which go into this, and it's just phenomenal. I absolutely love this, and like I said, the animation style just fits with the cartoonish, bubbly, energetic, squash and stretch animation style, and it really works for this. And like I said, VisiPop really took full advantage of it, and the stretching of the characters really helps to add to that animated character style. And you could attribute the way that the characters move to a couple of different things. You could say, well, you could say, one, they're demons. You know, they have supernatural abilities, and so that's why they have the squash and stretch style. But you could also say that it's simply the animation style, and like I said, it fits and it works fantastically for that. And I absolutely love it. And this is just superbly done. This is absolutely fantastic. And there's so many different people that worked on this animation. I want to put everything up on the screen, but again, this is so well done. And I'm very curious. I'm really curious about what. I'm really curious to see where this goes, to see what she does with this. I'm really curious about this. And like I said, the animation is gorgeous, it's cute, it's fun, it's energetic, It's not rigid or completely over the top. It's animated, it's bubbly, and it has high energy movement, really great flow, and the character is not overly animated. She's not underly animated. She has a great style. She's and the voice, I mean, she has a great style. She's not wearing, like, the clothing for the characters is not too overly done. Like, there's not too much attention to the character's clothing. All the characters wearing sort of moderate clothing, which is, if befits the actual character designs, and then the character's body language helps to emphasize the character's personality, her bubbly, energetic nature, and we also see a very light-hearted nature with the character as well. And we see a character that is hopeful, which is comical. She has a comical nature about her. She has a fun nature about her, obviously, but she has a fun nature about her, obviously, but she's got, obviously, a darker side to her, which I think is interesting because it kind of befits what some people would say with other people as well, that, while you might be bubbly, sometimes it feels like you do have something dark underneath. Um, but I'm very curious, and I'm thinking that there might be more to this girl than what we see on the surface. Like, she looks simplistic, but I'm wondering if there's more to her than what we see on the surface. We've seen little subtle glances in the animation, so I'm wondering if there's definitely more to her than what we initially see. More hidden beneath the surface, which I think is good that it wasn't fully revealed. I think it's interesting because it kind of keeps you in suspense of what is there that you don't initially see. And just like with reality, you don't actually see everything on the surface. Like, some people keep it well hidden, and some prefer to keep it hidden. But I think it's interesting, in some things, obviously, you don't see a character's full power in the beginning. It's not revealed till later on. But again, I absolutely love this animation. It's cute, it's fun, and the song itself is fantastic. It's addictive, and the voice acting is fantastic. The vocals are fantastic, and everybody that animated this, everybody that worked on this did such a fantastic job. Absolutely love this. It's fun, and yeah, it's such an incredible animation, and it surpasses. There are, like, legit, there are real animations on TV right now that do not have. There are real animations on TV right now that this surpasses their style. And so, whenever an independent animator artist does this, and then you have it's like a professional company that cranks out mediocre animation, yeah. But again, absolutely love Izzy Pop's work. So to everybody that worked on this, thank you all so much. To everybody that worked on this animation, thank you. To congratulations, and thank you to VizzyPop and everybody that worked on this. Thank you all so much for all the work and effort that you put into it. It really, really shows, and it just shines. This thing just shines with style and flair and enthusiasm and fun and comedy too. So thank you again to everybody that worked on this. VizzyPop, congratulations, and thank you so much for all the work and effort that you put into this, and congratulations on the success of all of your work. And to everybody that helped work on this as well, thank you to everybody as well. Thank you all so much for all the work and effort that you put into it. Thank you all so much, and congratulations to everybody else as well. And again, thank you so much. Congratulations, and thank you all. And thank you guys again for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video that I do. Take care.